G'day and welcome to another episode of Crictalk. Here is your host PK, and join with me is Jason Boone.
Yeah, thanks, PK. It's good to be here. Right now, what do you got for us on this edition of Crictalk?
Yeah, we've got a pretty packed lineup today. We'll be reviewing New Zealand versus Sri Lanka. That series is just wrapped up.
Yep.
We'll be looking at Martin Guptill and we'll be chatting about him.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the Big Bash final taking place there, and a few other bits and bobs from around the world.
Awesome. Sounds good. Right. Okay. So obviously, as you said, big news at the moment. The conclusion of the 7-match ODI series between New Zealand and Sri Lanka wrapped up last night with a win for Sri Lanka, spearheaded by a century by Kumar Sangakkara. What are your thoughts on the match?
Yep. Pretty convincing there by Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
I think New Zealand will be pretty happy with their series.
Yeah.
But I feel in that last game they just didn't have much momentum.
Well, that's exactly
what are your
it,
thoughts,
isn't
Stu?
it? Well, I think, with the exception of Kane Williamson, the top order completely failed. But what is reassuring that came out of the match was to see that our lower order does have some batting talent, and that we are capable of saving a match, if not extending it.
Yeah, too right. You just feel that Sri Lanka really have that good opening partnership with guys like Sangakkara and Tilakaratne Dilshan always putting on a show in that first opening stanza of the match.
Well, that's exactly right. Tiramani also looked pretty good for his 30. He was unlucky to get out. So, yeah, it's promising stuff for Sri Lanka. But again, they did suffer a bit of a collapse. I felt they should have got around 320, but after Joe Warner got out, then I felt like it was all over them. Yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Sri Lanka have had quite a hard series. They've had big guys that have been out and haven't really boosted their team, and you start to think if Sri Lanka can beat New Zealand like they did yesterday, you really wonder if they can beat us in that World Cup opening game.
That's exactly right, isn't it? They are going to be a threat if they can get their act together, as they did yesterday in Wellington. Then yeah, I think that they are certainly a threat. And obviously a big talking point from the match and the whole series actually is Martin Guptill. Obviously got out first ball yesterday. It was a bit unlucky. He should have reviewed it. Hotspot did show he did nick it. But yeah, what do you think about Martin Guptill?
Yeah, Martin Guptill, he's that kind of guy where you feel you have to have him in.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
You also think, oh, what can we do with him? If he's not knocking it around the park, what are we going to do with him, Jace?
Well, it's like him and Brendan in theory would make a great opening partnership. Brendan's always going to be the aggressor. Just going for every ball, and Guppy's going to be there to nerdle around, take the odd single here and there. But he hasn't been doing that of late. Got a few figures here in the last 12 months in 10 innings. He's averaged only 17.3 at a strike rate of 59, and if you minus the Eden Park matches where he seems to fire a bit, he's only averaged 10 with a strike rate of 48. So it's not convincing stuff, and they've got guys like Tom Latham waiting in the wings. So yeah, what do you say to that?
Yeah, I really think coming into this World Cup, you really have to put guys in there that are really on top form. I think Latham was quite unlucky, but I like Latham, and I think maybe him over Guptill, you kind of have to weigh that one up.
Well, yeah, that's right. Of course, in the World Cup, you've got a number of these matches against, say, Afghanistan, Scotland, where you can try out these different opening combinations. Not to mention the World Cup warm-up matches that are going on as well. But something that is keeping Guptill in the team is his List A form. He's has been very convincing in his List A performance, scoring a number of centuries and half centuries. So PK, he's obviously got the talent that's still there. Yeah, so I'm not sure, honestly.
Yeah, really. I think with a lot of the guys, you kind of seem to think, oh, is Guptill going to come back into form? Is he going to be like he was a year ago? You never know, do you?
No, well, that's right, isn't it? Right.
But then you also feel that guys maybe like Ross Taylor, is he coming into a little bit of form? Is Williamson going to be as good as he is in the Cup?
Exactly. You can't expect Williamson to score a half century every match, even though he's looking like it at the moment. It's not always going to be that way. So they really need the extra man to really step up.
I'd be very surprised if Kane Williamson doesn't get man of the series. I'll tell you that now.
Yeah, well, that's right, isn't it?
Right.
Okay. So Big Bash just wrapped up the 2020 domestic league in Australia. Did you watch it?
Yeah, and what a game it was too.
Mate.
Mate.
Yeah,
Yep.
so I think the Sixers were unlucky to not win it. But the Scorchers, what do you say about their consistency? 4 seasons, 4 finals. Yeah, they've obviously got a lot of talent.
Yeah, they have been great, and also to add to their final hopes, Sean Marsh coming back into the side. He has been pretty good for Australia, and he's come back into that side and just gone for it.
He scored a good 70, didn't he?
Yep.
Brett Lee also looked good on his final match. One hell of an over, I got to say. That last over had me jumping out of my seat.
Yeah, sure did. Also, like Nathan Lyon, he also took 2 wickets in that 19th over. Really helped them.
Yeah, he looked really good, didn't he? And of course, Brad Hogg turned 44 the other day, and the reports that he's just about to sign a lucrative IPL deal. It's unprecedented. He's 44. He's just signed an IPL deal.
Oh yeah, I just love watching Hoggy. The way he acts in the Big Bash. He really just adds to the atmosphere. He's got the tongue out and he's loving it. I'd love to see him in the IPL.
Yeah, it'd be good to see him play a bit of international cricket again, wouldn't it?
Sure would. I'd also like to chuck in and mention Moses Enriquez has been, I feel, one of the best captains in the Big Bash. He's really stepped up.
Yeah, I absolutely agree there. He performed with the bat, he performed with the ball. In that final, he was unlucky not to get that run out. I got to say, I think it was a pretty tough throw. It didn't need to be such a hard throw, but yeah, he was unlucky not to get that up.
Yeah, you almost felt that even if the batsman got bat onto ball and managed to run that one single, it was going to be hard to take that run out wicket.
Yeah, definitely. So let's look at elsewhere in the world now. South Africa versus West Indies. Did you hear about the latest match there, PK?
Yep, sure did. Wayne Parnell, he had a good bowling stint, didn't he?
Yep, 4 for 42. That's right. But what made the match even more amazing was match was reduced to 42 overs because of rain. Yet South Africa still managed to score 361 runs, spearheaded by Hashim Amla. With 100, and same with Riley Rousseau, 132 of 98 balls, picking up man of the match there. So what does this mean for their World Cup chances?
Yeah, well, I definitely think South Africa would have to be one of the favourites going into it.
Yeah, well, that's right, isn't it?
Yeah, I think this World Cup is all about form, and if the teams can carry that form into the World Cup, it's definitely going to benefit them.
Well, exactly. Now I got some stuff here. South Africa scored 361. Now they did this without Dale Steyn, Morné Morkel, Werner Philander, Imran Tahir, and AB de Villiers. So that just shows the depth in South African cricket right now.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, like I said, they're definitely going to go well, I feel. The West Indies, they have been a little bit unlucky. Maybe Chris Gayle not stepping up as much as he would have liked.
No. Well, he got a first ball duck, didn't he?
But yeah. Yet again, you never know at Cup if they come to play on the right day and it's their time. They should go well.
Exactly, and also got a stat here on Hashimamla. The man's a freak. I've got to say that right now. He scores 100. He scores a century every 5.47 innings. Now you compare that with the current best, or one of the best ODI players in the world, Virat Kohli, the next best, with a century every 5.47 innings. A century every 6.71 innings, compared with Umla's 5.47. Then look at Sachin Tendulkar, century every 9.22 innings. So that just shows the sort of form that Umla's in. Well, it's not even just form, is it? It's just class. It's just how he is.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and also ongoing at the moment, there's the Tri-Series, England versus India. The match has just kicked off. England did win the toss and chose to field. India currently going along at 16 runs for no wicket after 5.4 overs. What do you think about this match?
Haven't really kept an eye on it. I think, India have a lot of potential. They're a really young side, and I feel guys like Kohli and who have you got? Maybe Shikhar Dhawan. He hasn't really hit it off. I don't feel, Jace.
No, I think the class is there for Shikhar Dhawan.
Yep.
He's got potential. He's a good aggressive player, but I think also you got to look at guys like Ajinkya Rahane. He's been in good form. But the interesting thing for me for this match is, in terms of team selection, India have gone with Mohit Sharma rather than Ishant Sharma. But the interesting thing about that is Mohit Sharma is not even in the World Cup squad. So you see that we've been seeing this a bit with a couple of teams, with Black Caps going to the Matt Henry, and Sri Lanka played 3 guys yesterday not on the World Cup squad. So you got to think, if they could change that 15-man squad, would they?
Who knows, really? Who knows?
Right. Another story, obviously, people around the world have been talking about this. Harris Sahale.
Yep.
What do you know about this?
I don't actually know what to believe in this story.
Reports saying he was pushed by a ghost while he was staying in the Ridges Latimer Hotel in Christchurch. Now, I haven't really heard anything like this in professional sports. I don't know what to make of it, honestly.
It's apparently he was he seemed really shocked, and he was really taken by this incident, and you really wonder what was actually going on there.
Well, he called the coaching staff after the incident happened, and when they got to him, he had a high fever. So it makes you think: was there something in it, or was it just a symptom of his flu? But it made him very upset, and he couldn't train. But he's been labelled the world's worst sportsman by some major networks in the US, which I don't think that's fair. I don't think he deserves it. No. What do you think on does he deserve it?
Well, I really don't know. You have people in the media going on about stuff and speculating everything. So I really don't think. No, I don't think at all. Actually,
I think he just needs to move past it, get on with his, because he's a good player, Harris Sahale. So he'll be an interesting one to watch during the upcoming series.
It's good to see that he was back at training the other day, so he should be all good come game time.
Yeah. Now, speaking of game time, Pakistan versus New Zealand, first ODI is tomorrow on Saturday. An interesting series. It's only 2 games, this one.
Yep. Looks good. Looks pretty good for tomorrow. I think tomorrow, is it?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yep. So that should be a cracker of a game. Be interesting to see where they go.
Yeah, I think so. Guys like for Pakistan, I think that the danger man, the man you got to watch out for, Shahid Afridi, as always, Captain Misbah Al-Haq, and the wicketkeeper Safraz Ahmed, who they're my key players. Now, an interesting stat here about Misbah He's never scored an international century in his many ODIs. High score of 96 not out. He's got 30 odd half centuries. So will we see that this series around the World Cup? What do you think?
Well, you start to think Pakistan I don't think are really known for their batting. They have really talented bowlers, and
Yeah.
I think that's going to really make their series if their bowlers can really attack the New Zealanders and pick up those early wickets. And who knows, maybe they can get across the line. I don't really think it will be in their batting, but you never know.
Yeah, well, of course, I mentioned Safraz Ahmed before. He's yet to fire in one-day internationals. He's only scored one half century and averages 25.27. But we've seen how explosive he can be. Of course, during the recent Test series against the Black Caps in the UAE, he smashed the second fastest century by a wicketkeeper in Test matches. So we know he's got the potential, he's got the talent. It's just a question of whether we'll see this in the World Cup or in the series.
Yeah, too right.
Right. Cool. I think that's all we've got. Anything, unless there's anything you got to say, PK?
No, I think we're about right.
Cool. Right. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to catch us next time on Crictalk. You can find us on YouTube or Facebook.
Yep, see you guys.